Well, holy happy Thursday to you. Good morning. It's Mornings on TV with Luann and Tim. How are you?
Boy, the camera turns on and you come to life.
I just, you know.
Oh, it scared me.
I'm such a ham.
I'm well. I want to put pineapples and cherries all over you.
I'm not even. Okay? Early in the morning.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone. Yes.
You know what? It poured here a couple of times, right? And it poured.
Only when we walked outside.
That's right. But it also poured like huge. It's all over Twitter this morning how the Eaton Center sprung a leak.
Did it?
Yeah. They were putting up barriers from the hallways at the entrances of the stores. Big barriers, because it was just, apparently, it was raining in the Eaton Center.
I heard they got hit by wind blasts in Toronto, too, that there was like bursts of wind and stuff. So we didn't get the wind so much, but it got chilly, too.
Oh, man,
but it's going to warm up again today.
Yeah. Just in time for the weekend, right?
It's gonna be, this weekend, check your calendars. There's no lack of things to do this weekend, trust us. I'll tell you a little more at our mid-break about some of the stuff going on this Saturday. It's a jam-packed day.
Awesome.
Well, there's New North Greenhouses doing their thing, and then there's going to be a barbecue at Sioux Mill, a charity, because Sioux Mill does those great charity barbecues.
Yes.
You know about this?
Yes.
Where they invited charity to use their parking lot to put on a barbecue to fundraise. So Annette Kattajamaki got a hold of me. So it's got to be something to do with the Canadian Mental Health Association and mental health awareness at...
and Cruise Queen Street?
Cruise Queen Street is this weekend, plus it's the Relay for Life on Friday night, and then there's more stuff too. And if you want to find out what's going on, just go to SiouxOnline.com and check out Trina's community calendar. It's all there.
She's got everything that you could possibly imagine that is going on.
Yeah.
Do you follow Drake? Do you like Drake? The singer-performer guy?
I don't really. I don't dislike him.
Yeah,
I'm just not really familiar with Drake.
Yeah.
And I know that he's he's done a crossover into the States. He's a huge...
Yeah, he's massive. He's just like sprung a leak. But he is reuniting...
He sprung a leak like the Eaton Center.
Yes.
What's going on with him?
He is reuniting with the Degrassi.
Oh, I just saw something on Twitter about that.
For his next video.
Why, was Drake on Degrassi?
Yes.
Oh, look, our friends in the studio are saying yes.
Rose is like,
even the cameraman is like, I did not know that Drake came from Degrassi.
Yeah, I did.
Mean?
He was in a wheelchair.
He was a character in a wheelchair.
Oh, he was the wheelchair guy,
I did not know that. See, I never watched Degrassi.
What? What kind of Canadian are you?
And one who was older and who didn't watch kids shows when he was in his 20s. What? I don't understand. What was there an issue with that? I didn't. What were you were?
My kids were watching.
Okay, that's why you had children who were watching.
Yes.
I didn't know. I mean, no. I was living in Toronto when they were filming Degrassi, and I used to walk by Degrassi Street and go, huh?
Oh, there it is. It's a real thing.
Yes, Degrassi is a real street
there you go.
In Toronto.
Do you watch the Incredibles movies? You know, with the little...
Apparently I don't do anything right. I don't know who Drake is. I don't watch The Incredibles. I didn't watch Degrassi. No. Tell me about The Incredibles. Oh, woman of wisdom who knows all.
The Disney Pixar Incredibles 2 opens tonight.
Wait a second. I might have seen it.
They're the little cartoony characters.
Did they turn into things?
Yes. They're superheroes. And there's the
Are they
mom.
just a family?
Yeah.
I recall seeing part of it, but once again, it was a cartoon, so I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, your brain's just so full of wisdom and information that you need a minute to find the file.
I need a minute. I need an assistant.
Yes, you do. And a manager. And an agent.
And yes.
And a money person.
Yes.
Okay. I'm in.
Well, now I'm depressed.
Not me.
My life
I feel awesome.
I don't know anything about popular culture, and I can't manage my life. Thanks, Lou.
Happy
Thursday. It's sunny and gorgeous, and Tim's life is a mess.
So what'd you do last night, loser? Just kidding.
Well, I didn't watch Degrassi.
You didn't listen to Drake.
I didn't watch The Incredibles.
Okay.
I continued to write my script for my one-man show that I'm doing for the Fringe Festival.
Well, now see, that's something that I can't even relate to. So that's awesome.
Well, no, really, it's because I'm so self-centered. I just spent the evening talking about myself in words. So I was like, oh, remember when I did that? 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 Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, I didn't make that sound good
enough.
enough.
And then I was like, oh, I'd forgotten I did that.
It's a little bio you're doing.
Well, it is. The show is called My Life Is Not a Drag.
I love, and he shared his script with me, being Tim, yesterday, and oh my gosh, it is so emotional and funny, just like him, just like Tim, very normal, very, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's the nicest thing you said all day. I'm normal.
Yeah, you're normal.
Actually, that's not nice. I don't want to be normal. I like being like Abby Normal.
Abby.
Yes, I got the brain from Abby Normal. That was from Young Frankenstein. Anyway, there was a pop culture reference I knew.
Yes, look at
because it came from the 1970s.
I was going to say it was a really old one, but
thanks,
you
Mama.
did make that reference.
We have some guests this morning that we're going to talk to. My friend Sally Toivonen, Tovonen. Sally is a woman of many talents, but one of them is now she is an author, and she's here to promote a book she wrote about.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
She does everything, that woman.
Yes, she wrote a book, and she's going to be talking to us about Mr. Lento, who is the subject of the book, and his history as a Mason here in Sault Ste. Marie as an Italian immigrant, and it's she brought a lot. She brought props. I see she's got props, which is great because she's very theatrical
and she's beautiful.
And then
wait till you meet her,
Sally. Wait, and then later on, something I know nothing about: ham radio operators.
Right.
Oh, you said you're like a ham.
Nah.
Yeah. Well,
so
we got ham
should be
radio.
A natural.
There's a amateur radio field day is coming up. I know nothing about this, and they apparently brought equipment in, and so I'm going to learn all about.
Is that the breaker? And I know those are CBs.
Those are
our director's going, no, Lou, you idiot.
I'm not the only dumb one.
I'm just trying to make you feel better.
Well, we're going to learn all about ham radios. You can come on the segment if you want, Lou. I know.
I'll be doing some news stuff.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to come right back with Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim and my friend and local author, Sally Toivonen. Stay with us on TV.
Tell me we don't have anything to talk about.
Welcome back to Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim, and Sally Toivonen is here with me this morning. Hi, Sally.
Hi, Tim.
Boy, no kidding. You look absolutely gorgeous. Well, you always look great, Sal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, and it's an exciting day.
Why?
We are doing our book launch tonight at the library. This is the
actual launch.
This is our actual launch.
At the library with our friend Helena Hopalainen.
Yes, at the Centennial Library.
So the downtown branch.
And we are launching our book.
Let's hold that up. You want to get you want to come in on, let's get her book here. Okay, here. Yeah. Oh, move in. Let's go to Sally's book. Zoom in on Sally's book, camera 3. Yes. Anyway, Sally, you're going to be at the library what time tonight?
It's 7 o'clock. And it's going to be a very interesting evening because actually Mr. Pasquale Lento will be there.
Yeah. And the subject of your story.
The subject of the story.
Is going to be there tonight.
And he'll be signing autographs after we do some readings from the book, as well as he'll be answering any questions of what it was like to immigrant all the way from Italy to Canada and start a whole new life and build a family, which is what our story is all about.
Well, that's the story of many families in Sault Ste. Marie, so I'm sure that a lot of people will see themselves in Mr. Pasquale's story, Mr. Lento's story. Sorry, Pasquale's his first name. Does he go by Pasquale or does he have another name that he uses?
Actually, he goes by Pat.
Pat.
But I just love the sound of Italian words, so I always call him Pasquale.
Yeah, right on. Who's his wife?
His wife is Conchetta. Beautiful lady, and as you can see in one of the photos, he met Conchetta through an arranged marriage in Italy.
We have photos on the desk here, and you can see their marriage photo there, or it looks like an anniversary picture of Conchetta and Pasquale.
And he actually, it was an arranged marriage, which is what they did back in Italy in that time. And there's a whole chapter that talks about the very first time they met and how they fell in love and how they wrote letters back and forth to each other. And it is absolutely my most favorite chapter in the book.
Really? Now wait a second. How did you come across this story? Let me just ask, Manish, see if you can get your camera focused on the picture of the nice family there over there, and we'll go to that picture of the anniversary and all the pictures of the Lentos.
Well, how I became involved is, as you know, Tim, I was a speechwriter for Mark Lalonde and Pat Carney back in the 70s. We don't want to release any years, so people can't do the math. But when I worked with as a speechwriter, I was very involved with doing a lot of research, documenting historical facts. And I was approached by Maria Lento, Mr. Lento's daughter.
This is back when you were still in Ottawa?
Oh, no, this was after I came here.
Oh, okay.
The Lentos knew that I had been a previous speechwriter, and Pasquale said, would you like to do my story? I wanted to write my story, and I went, I've never written a book before. I had no idea. I mean, doing speechwriting and brief notes and stuff like that for the Parliament is totally different. And so my first thing I did was just sit down with him with a little tape recorder, and I said, tell me what it was like. What was it like to grow up in Italy? What was the name of your town, Cleto, in Calabria? And what were the streets like? What were the sounds? What were the, what kinds of things did you do as a child? And so the questions just kept flowing, the tape recorder just kept getting more and more filled, and before I knew it, I had chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Whoa, how many chapters are there?
There are 26 chapters, and we ended up having to abbreviate a lot. We talked a lot about what it was like to grow up in Italy, grow up with his brother. It's a very rags to riches story. Mr. Lento was impoverished, and of course this is before the war. And a very interesting fact, there was a friendship train over in Europe, I mean in the States, that went from California all the way to New York. And the train collected food and goods and items to bring over to Italy and the countries that were torn by war. So everybody gave relief efforts, and they put food and shoes and chocolate and clothing on this train. And then a ship, a great big steamliner, brought that all over to Europe, to Italy. Well, he was one of the families that received those goods from the friendship train.
Back in Italy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So is he a first-generation Canadian then, Pasquale Lento?
Oh yes, yes. He came here on his own. And had he
met Conchetta when he came here?
He was married to Conchetta, and they already had the birth of Maria and Lori, his other daughter.
So did he leave his wife and daughters back in Italy to come here?
Left them there for not even a year, and he came here, made all his money, put them on one of the steamliners, and they came over afterwards.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to pick up when we left off, right after this, Sally Toivonen. So stay with us. A Mason-Built Family, the Pasquale Lento story by local author Sally Toivonen, and the book launches this evening at the Public Library, the Centennial Branch, downtown, at 7 o'clock this evening. We'll be back with more on Mornings with Luann and Tim, so stay with us. So Sally, I'm curious. We're talking about Pasquale Lento, and he's he comes to Canada. And where did he initially start off? In Sault Ste. Marie, or did he elsewhere? I mean, I know most people came elsewhere, and then he moved to Sault Ste. Marie.
He arrived in Halifax.
Halifax.
Of course, you know the famous Pier 21, where all the immigrants had kind of landed and they were registered. He took a train from Halifax all the way to Ontario. He went through Montreal, and he came up through Montreal to Sault Ste. Marie, and he thought he was going off the edge of the world, because Italy, of course, you go and you're in the next country, and
absolutely.
And it was like he saw this landscape, and he saw the scenery change, and he was wondering, where am I going? And he arrived, and it was in September, and of course we had our first winter that he had to experience, and he was frozen that first winter. Can you imagine being a mason out with your trowel and laying the bricks, and his hands were frozen, and he just couldn't get used to our climate, but he adjusted.
So was that his career before he came to Canada? He was a mason in Italy?
Yes, he became a mason. He went to France, and he got his carte de travail to work in France, and he became a mason. He got a certificate, and when he was back in Europe, he thought, I don't want to work for someone else. I want to be my own boss. I want to make my own rules and do my business the way I want to. And that was his dream. And when he came to Canada, he fulfilled that very shortly. Like he had his own company within 3-4 years after he arrived here. And a lot of the buildings that are around Sault Ste. Marie were built by Mr. Lento. He's done the masonry work on many people's homes, a lot of our businesses that are downtown. His legacy is in a lot of the places.
Wow. And so then he was able to bring his wife and daughters over here, and they've lived here all this time.
Yes.
And
the family grew.
And the family grew. So now tell me a little bit about this connection. So you've got here this beautiful bookmark, which has a picture of you and Pasquale. And I think this is the photo you provided us. I think
Yes.
we have a stock photo of this. I don't know if Michael's put it up yet or not, but it's a beautiful shot of you and Pasquale. Is that in
Yes.
his kitchen or
That's
yours?
in his kitchen.
In his kitchen. And then the words, basically the words to a song that his mother used to sing, Antonia.
Yes, Antonia used to sing.
Does the book come with this bookmark?
Yes, it does.
That's a nice touch, Sally.
This is done by Jamie Lemon from Lemon Printing, and I'm very grateful for his work on helping us with this. And it says, "My precious child, wherever your journey in life may take you, I pray that you always be safe, enjoy the ride, and never forget your way back home." And the interesting thing is Mr. Lento was able to go back to Cleto several times with his family, with his kids, different trips with different children. So he honored his mother's wish, and that's...
This is also very timely because this is Italian Heritage Month. June
Yes.
is Italian Heritage Month. And so this is a wonderful thing that you're doing this, and also wonderful because, Sally, now tell us about this part of your book.
Well, my editor originally, before I had Connie Corello, who did an excellent job on editing the book, my original editor was Alan Toivonen. And unfortunately, I lost Alan 2 years ago in July at Arch. And I've always made it my passion. I'll never be able to replay those last days that Alan had in such a beautiful environment. And anything I do, I always connect it to Arch. So $5 from every book will go to Arch. And we're just kind of supporting them as much as we can. And I know that he was with me with every last word I printed, and I'm really glad that he's been with me in spirit.
I'm so happy that you are here today to promote the book. I'm so proud of you. I think this is fantastic. The work that you do for Arch is never ending between this and Backyard Broadway and all the other things you do. As you said, everything you do, Arch is in the back of your mind because of the beautiful way that you were able to say goodbye to your beautiful Alan.
Yes.
Who was, Alan was, for anybody who didn't know Alan Toivonen, was just a gentle soul, so kind, wonderful sense of humor, talented, was a barber shopper, did community theater, and so this is a wonderful, you're combining so many legacies with this, Sally,
Yes.
with the Pasquale Lento and the Lento family, Pasquale Lento story and the whole Lento family, a story that will ring true for so many of our immigrants and children of immigrants in Sault Ste. Marie. After all, this whole community, this entire country is based on immigrants coming from other countries to make us the beautiful cultural mosaic that we are.
Yes.
And Sally, your talents are never ending and always astounding.
Well, I'd like to present you with a copy.
Oh my gosh, I got a free book. See that?
Well, actually, we're looking for your $5 donation.
I will give more than $5 to Arch, Sally. Thank you very much. Listen, we got to go, Sal. Our time is up.
Well,
you can go to the public library this evening, Centennial Branch. You can meet Sally Toivonen, you can meet Pasquale Lento, and you can hear Sally read excerpts from the book. She told me she has no idea what she's reading yet, so you better get off camera and go figure out what you're going to sing, what you're going to read tonight, and support our local author, Sally Toivonen.
Thank you so much,
Thank you. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this.
In the early morning hours yesterday, Sault Ste. Marie Fire Services were called to a multi-unit residential building along Albert Street East and Blucher Street. Platoon Captain Damon Ferris said 4 people were evacuated safely from the building. The investigation has now been turned over to the Sault Ste. Marie Police Services. The residents are in the care of the Salvation Army. The United Steelworkers have reacted to the recent Gateway Casino layoffs. Area Coordinator for Northwestern Region District 6, Mark Ayotte, said the union that represents casino employees said their main concern is making sure union members are well represented. He added that they will hold Gateway accountable for proper procedures. Ayotte said Gateway has created 1,000 jobs in new casinos in the province, but is disappointed none of them are in the Soo. While announcing the layoffs, Gateway said laid-off employees could apply to those new casinos for jobs in Sudbury and North Bay as an example, but Ayotte said it's not practical to think that people who are laid off from Casino Sault Ste. Marie are able to just pick up and move. Yesterday, officers from the Manitoulin Espanola OPP responded to a report of a vehicle blocking traffic on the swing bridge going into Little Current on Highway 6. Just before 11 p.m., officers located the vehicle stopped on the one-lane swing bridge. Investigation revealed that the driver had been drinking. 31-year-old Samantha Dame of Sault Ste. Marie has been charged with driving while impaired and driving with over 80 milligrams of alcohol in her blood. Some good news for students at the Algoma District School Board as they gear up for graduation. The ADSB class of 2018 includes grade 12 French immersion students who are also celebrating their successful completion of the DELF examination. 27 ADSB students, many of them in the French immersion program at either Superior Heights and a few others in the International Baccalaureate at Cora Collegiate, took the DELF exam this past May, and all 27 students passed the level B1 or level B2 language proficiency exam. This is the second year that grade 12 students at ADSB could participate in the DELF exam, which is internationally recognized actually as an official certification of second language proficiency and tests the ability of students to use skills like listening, speaking, reading, and writing in French in real life situations. ADSB is very proud to have over 30 educators who actually took the intensive 4-day training session in past summers, certifying them to administer and score the DELF exams. Microphone not working.
No, I'm good. Okay, so now suddenly, hi, I'm back. You can hear me.
Is Tim working now?
I don't have to bring in my friend. So anyway, you're looking at the catalog from 31.
Because
they have
it's a $50 gift card.
Yes, they donated a $50 gift certificate for our Relay for Life giveaway that we've been doing for the last, I don't know how many, since we started the show.
Yeah.
All these wonderful local merchants have been donating prizes for us to give away to raise awareness about the fact that tomorrow is the Canadian Cancer Society's Relay for Life from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. at the John Road Centre.
And we're going to be there.
ONNtv streamers, that's the name of our team. We'll be doing laps. And
nobody told me about the laps part.
And we hope you'll join us. We hope all the people who have received these wonderful prizes over the last weeks will also come out and show their support. After all, that's why we've been doing this, to raise awareness and encourage people to get involved, help raise money for the Canadian Cancer Society. It's not too late to register, to put in a team, or to find someone to pledge money to, because it's about raising awareness and funds. So, this week, the prizes come...
These are our last ones.
This is the last, well, tomorrow's the relay. So, and you can find out more about the Relay for Life at www.relayforlife.com. Oh, it's not on here, but you can go there and find out about the Relay for Life. Anyway, Boston Pizza has donated $50. Northcrest Lanes, bowl one and get second game for free vouchers. You get 5 of them.
5? Wow, that's awesome.
5 2-for-1 vouchers. And what's this one? Stockhouse Grill. Now, I have not been, and it's right in my neighborhood, 192 Wellington Street West, the Stockhouse Grill. I'm going to go there and find out what this is about, because I haven't been. And they have kindly donated $25 gift certificate for the Stockhouse Grill.
And then, of course, the $50 gift card for their products, which is awesome.
Here we go. So, the first winner of the 4 winners this week, look at this, we got more entries than ever.
So much.
Megan McLeod, congratulations Megan McLeod, you are a winner this week and the final draw for Relay for Life giveaway.
Okay, and our second one, Judy Cruz.
Judy Cruz.
Judy, congratulations.
And I've got Phil Worth.
Phil Worth.
Congratulations, Phil. And finally.
And we have Allison Fragan.
Fragan or Frigon? Maybe Frigon?
Or Frigon.
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 F-R-I-G-O-N. Say it however you want.
Allison, yes. You're a winner, regardless of how you say your name.
Frigon, not frig off.
No, that's right. What's in the bag?
I'll tell you what's in the bag. Sally and I got so involved in our conversation, we forgot to thank Conchetta Lento, that is Pasquale's wife, who baked these just for me. But you're lucky, I'm the kind of person who likes to share. Now, Sally said biscotti, but these are not actually, no. It looks like a little fish. These are not like a
like they're breadsticks.
They're breadsticks.
Wouldn't this be good dipped in Nutella? Seriously. What?
That's such a munchakek thing to do to an Italian breadstick, is dip it in Nutella.
No, Aaron's shaking his head saying that's a good idea.
Okay, and Aaron is, he knows because he's Italian. But anyway, she said biscotti, but biscotti's biscuit. So yes. I guess in a way this is kind of
biscotti is a biscuit that's baked twice, because biscotti means baked twice.
Now I never knew that. Okay, I take everything I said about you being a munchakek.
Okay. Now you broke it. They're so good. They're kind of sweet. Oh, look, there's all kinds of different, they look almost like meringues, but they're really hard.
So you hear this in my microphone? They're really good. I'm going to dip it in coffee. I gotta go get a coffee.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go get some coffee.
Go for coffee.
No, that was close. You did good though. Good job.
Nice pullback. Because there's no 5-second delay on TV.
No.
We're gonna go for coffee, and then we're gonna come back with my second guest.
Talking ham radio.
Ham radio. I'm gonna learn some stuff. Okay, so stay with us. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this.
They're so good. They're kind of sweet.
It's the most...
Well, welcome back. This is Alan McLean. Nice to meet you, Alan. And Brent Macmillan.
Nice to meet you, Tim.
Nice to meet you. Murphy, McMillan, McLean. It's all now. Welcome to ONNtv. Welcome to Mornings with Luann and Tim. I know nothing about. Are you consider yourselves ham radio operators? Is that?
Ham radio is the term we're known by, but we're called amateur radio operators. The term ham was coined by some commercial radio operators in the early days of radio. It was kind of sort of intended as an insult.
Oh, no kidding?
Like a ham or a plug, eh? But we took it on as you
owned the word.
We owned the word ham. Yeah,
that's good.
So we're hamming it up with radios.
Right on. How long have you been involved with this stuff?
Well, I've been into it for probably over 30 years.
Wow.
I got my ticket when I was about 18 years old.
You got a ticket? What's that mean?
It's a certificate that allows you to operate. In order to operate an amateur radio license, or operate an amateur radio, you require a certificate of competence. So this is a course, a test that's administered through the Canadian government and other governments throughout the world.
Really?
To determine your prowess and understanding of radio communication, electronics, and radio theory.
Did you get your ticket too?
I did.
Brent, how long have you had a ticket?
1985 I got my...
Holy...
He's calling it a ticket. Actually, it's amateur radio license. Too.
Amateur radio license.
Some other slang they use in it.
Yeah. How do you do the testing now? If someone wanted to do this, can they go online to get the testing, or do you have to do...
You can go online. The club has a website, aarclub.ca.
AAR?
Club.
What's that stand for?
Algoma Amateur Radio.
Algoma Amateur Radio. AARclub.ca.
Yeah.
So they can go there and get all the information they want.
That's right, yeah. And
That's
actually, we have an online course where you can, we have videos we've done 3-year producer of this show.
Who, Mike?
Mike.
Yeah.
Really?
Mike's a ham radio operator.
Mike's just a ham. So, listen, what? How have you seen? You must have seen some major changes in the technology over the years. 30 years you've been doing this, right?
Yes.
So a lot of changes in how things work, or how the signals and the what do you think? Tell me.
Well, in the 1960s, most equipment was tubes.
Was what?
Tubes.
Tubes.
Vacuum tubes?
Electron tubes, vacuum tubes.
Vacuum tubes. Oh, tubes. Okay, vacuum tubes.
Yeah, big,
Okay, cool.
big glass envelopes, heat up and...
Yes, all the tubes. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's what?
Now it's mostly solid state transistors, and now we've gone into integrated circuits, and the new stuff is so small they almost paint it on the boards.
Wow, I didn't understand a word he just said. But now... Wow, tell me about some of the equipment you brought here. This is all looks like you've got like Morse code stuff.
We do, yes. And I brought a couple of Morse code keys along. And
I guessed that, and I was right. I actually said the right thing.
yeah, you did. Yeah. So this is
earlier in the show. I don't know if you heard, but Luann suggested that maybe I wasn't the sharpest bulb in the drawer, but I did. I know.
That's it from the old Western movies. You remember that?
Absolutely. Actually, I mostly remember it from that commercial about the Halifax Harbor, and the guy was trying to send the message out on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it all started, was with communications was by Morse code, and just by going up and down like that.
I can hear it.
I turn the volume up.
Okay, ready?
I just sent your name, Tim, in Morse code.
You spelled my name in Morse code.
In Morse code, yeah. So that was the start of it all, and but the drawback with these kind of Morse code keys was you could only go so fast. Like your hand can only go up and down so fast. Yeah. So then they went on to this here, which is this is called an iambic here. Instead of going up and down, you go back and forth, and it's got a little bit of electronics built into the radio, so that it helps you build up the speed on it. So before we were, I was going with the key there. It's much faster. So
wait, so it's one side dash and one side dot?
Yeah, that's it. There you go. So,
I did not. Oh my gosh, that is very cool.
So this radio is also voice, so you can do voice and Morse code on it too.
And you talk to people, you communicate all over the world.
Around the world. Mm-hmm.
So why?
For fun and excitement and experimentation.
What about language barriers?
English is the international language.
It is?
It is, yeah. And on amateur radio. And everybody speaks English to some extent. Usually you'll get on there and they'll be able to say their name, signal report, how well they're receiving you, where they live, and if they don't have much command of the English language, it's usually goodbye after that.
So do you talk about, do you ever talk politics, or mostly just about weather? I mean, how's the weather there?
Weather's a big one. And
weather is a big one?
Weather's a big one, yeah. What kind of radios you're using, because there's all different kinds of
So you're sharing
brands.
Technology and stuff as well?
Yeah. Politics is kind of a no-no. Not for us over here in the Western world.
Yes.
But for the other person that could be in a country that if he says something against the government, he'll end up in jail.
And the government can hear probably
they're listening,
because their big brother is listening.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, how am I for time? Can I keep on going or what? I can't hear anything. Okay. What are these cards you brought us?
Well, actually, these are, we call them Qsl Cards, which stands for, it's a confirmation that I made the contact with you. So years down the road, when you become a famous movie personality, I can tell my friends I met Tim Murphy, and they're going to say, yeah, right. But, and it's the same with this. The card you're holding right now is the card from the Indianapolis 500, the official radio station. The one behind it was from Western Sahara, from Republic of Niger.
These are from all over the world, and so they send them to you?
Yeah, it's confirmation of your contact with the other station.
That is very neat.
Yeah. So, and even into space here. That.
What do you mean?
Space Shuttle Columbia.
Wait, hang on. What is the space shuttle?
Space shuttle, yeah. Most of the astronauts are ham radio operators. And
there's a glare. There we go.
Yeah.
They maintain a working station, and whenever an amateur that has an amateur radio certificate is up there, he tries to get on and give contacts.
That's pretty cool. I remember my brother was huge. Was when they first launched, when Apollo, what was the first one that went up? in 1969. The first manned one.
Mercury. It was Mercury, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mercury was the first.
I think it was one of the Apollos that he was paying a lot of attention to, and he was right. He wanted to know everything, and he was listening to the broadcasts and stuff. And
11 maybe?
I mean, I don't know, but anyway, I was only a child, and I didn't care because it didn't involve me. What are these? What are these over here? Why did you bring me walkie-talkies and a
all right, well, this is the coolest thing that's out on the market here right now. That like with this radio here, you got to set up an antenna like in your backyard, and that's why we can't really give you a demonstration of how this works, because we're in a TV studio and we're inside a building here. So you know, we'd have to run a wire outside and hook up an antenna and stuff like that. This is the latest fad that's on the block here now. That these are digital radios the radio goes into this transmits to this little box here, which transmits back to the radio, and then it goes over to my cell phone here, and connects to the cell phone. We go through the internet, and we talk to people around the world. So if you're
from your cell phone,
yeah, or if I was at home, I could plug it into my computer, get into the internet.
You use local internet to connect to this thing that allows you to
around the world,
through the radio to around the world.
To other radio systems that are around the world, yes.
Yeah.
You guys must hear some crazy stuff when you're on that radio.
It's interesting, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you ever hear some like scary things like oh my gosh, there's going to be an attack or something, or
you know, actually during the first Gulf War there, that you could listen in on the military frequencies, because they're up here in the ham bands, and I was surprised that they wasn't encrypted or anything like that, but you could you couldn't hear the fighter jets taking off. They were taking off from Saudi Arabia, but you could hear the cargo planes that they were dispatched off the eastern coast of the United States.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, listen, we got to take a commercial. We're going to come back and talk some more about this. I find this very fascinating. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever. It's probably is this expensive, you guys?
No, it can be. It can be as cheap as you want. It's actually cheaper than CB radio if you start at the bottom.
Let's come back and talk about that right after this. Stay with us. Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim, and we're all a bunch of hams here this morning. Right on. We'll be right back. We're back. I'm learning so much stuff about this. Okay, we were asking about the expense of being an amateur radio operator. And you said not great, not high.
Not really. It depends on how much power you want and how old the equipment is. Essentially, if we get a young amateur in the area that actually puts in the effort and decides and is really keen, he might get a free radio from some old ham that's got one sitting there, maybe an old tube set or something, or you can build stuff, like you could build what's called a Qrp radio for about $49 off the internet. It only operates about 5 watts. You throw an antenna up in the air, and it only operates on Morse code, so you'd have to know Morse code.
Okay.
But you could actually operate on several bands at 5 watts or so with this little $49 radio and talk all over the world, because if the radio conditions are right, you can get out with watt or less.
Wow. So you're mentioning then young operators, young amateur radio operators, or people who want to get involved. It sounds to me like you guys do mentoring. You'll talk, you'll teach, you'll help them, you'll educate them, you'll show them the ropes. Do you give any courses in Morse code?
Yeah. Well, yes, we do. If there's an interest there, we occasionally do it when we get enough people together. We will do a Morse code course. We just came off a stint of doing actual amateur radio courses from scratch. Takes over a period of about 7 weeks, and it's all volunteer instructors, myself and a bunch of others. We get together and we teach all the theory and stuff, and do a lot of the mentoring and stuff. And we get this all together, and then we try to encourage them to get on the air. A lot of our new people are students, so they had a kind of a break. They got in there, they got their certificate, but now they're so busy with college and so on, they probably won't come on the air for another year or two.
All right.
And then we'll see them. And some of them are just doing it when they have a chance.
You mentioned Mike Jakowski, who's one of the director producers. He's in the booth right now. He's got some video he was going to show us. I think this is a setup. Mike, is this in your house, this video? This is actually in Mike's house. You can see on that screen there, guys, what I'm looking at. Can you describe what I'm seeing right now?
Yeah, this is a snapshot of another digital mode that you can work using your computer, and it's called FT8. And it's got the list of stations that he's that are on the air right now, and anything that you see that's on the air that he'll be able to work, and it lists the station's call sign and also where they are.
Now, Brent, you were saying that there are a number of celebrities that are involved in amateur radio operators.
Absolutely, yeah.
Name some for
Tim
me.
Allen.
Tim Allen.
You probably know him.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
That's right, and the other show he did after Tool Time. Can't recall the name of it now, but he actually brought amateur radio.
Anyway,
yeah.
He went.
He had a ham radio on the show.
On the sitcom.
Yeah.
And then you were saying the whole cast of Bonanza?
Pretty well the entire cast of Bonanza. The whole family. Yeah, they were all active amateur radio operators.
And then somebody else?
Joe Walsh from the Eagles has been on forever, since the 60s.
So you can chat with celebrities.
That's it.
That's very neat. Now, were you going to talk about something were you going to do a demonstration with this or something?
Well, we're going to try and do a demonstration.
Okay, let's see how this works. This is what
This is, as I was saying, this is the newest fad on the air here. It's connected onto my cell phone here. So it goes radio to, they call these a hotspot, which is an interface that connects to the cell phone.
Okay, hotspot I know because I use, sometimes if I wanted, I'll use my cell phone to create a hotspot and my laptop will work off of it. So is it the same sort of same concept?
Thing, except it's for radio.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I press the push to talk on the radio here, it should come up.
What's going to come up?
Well, it'll turn red here.
What turns red?
The display on the phone here.
Oh.
Let me try. It's not connected here right now.
Is that because of our signal? Because we're in a building that doesn't have...
No, it should work. It was working in the green room there, so...
Okay.
Except it won't work on live TV. But anyways, that's how it works. It goes out through the cell.
Work better over there. Do you guys... Are you the guys that drive?
Yeah.
He's looking out for us.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
He's always on guard for us.
He's done just about anything you can do with amateur radio. I think he built his first amateur radio out of used TV parts.
No kidding. What's the field day coming up? Is that something?
Oh, that's coming up next Saturday, and that's
would that be the 16th, 23rd probably? June 23rd.
Yep, 23rd and 24th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going to be over at number 4 Fire Hall, which is the Emergency Operations Center on Old Garden River Road.
Oh, right there. Yeah. So across from Sioux College and between in that area. I know what you mean. Between the water tower and Sioux College, where all the paramedics and stuff, their home base is, right?
That's right.
Number 4 Fire Hall, yeah?
Yeah, as part of the City of Sault Ste. Marie's emergency preparedness plan, they have a permanent amateur radio station set up there so that in the event of a disaster, we provide secondary communications for the emergency services. And there's also one there. There's also one over at the City Police building, too. That's the backup station. And our role is, should the communications network fail, we'll be there to relay information, say out of the city to the Provincial Emergency Operations Center in Toronto, or to any of the other EOCs in the area, whether it's to Elliott Lake, Manitoulin, across the river to Kinross. It's a network of EOCs that are set up with amateur radio.
EOC stands for
Emergency Operations Center, yes.
So what's going to happen for these 2 days when you're there all gathered at Fire Hall number 4?
Well, Field Day is an annual event that it's a demonstration of our abilities to set up under adverse conditions. It started out in the 1930s by the American Radio Relay League, which is the national organization in the United States for amateur radio. And Field Day, it was you go out in the middle of a field where there was no hydro, no antenna set up or anything like that. You'd set everything up and operate. So it would be like they were trying to recreate a situation, say a hurricane came through and wiped out everything in the area, which has happened, Puerto Rico last year. Yeah, and it was amateurs that were the first back on the air, and that's how they did it. They had set up a wire antenna through anything that's still standing up, like trees or buildings or something like that, and use a generator and hook up their radio to talk to back to the United States to relay for the different government agencies what material was required, how bad the devastation was, and that sort of thing. Information back and forth.
Amazing that. See, I had no idea. Once again, when I told you when I was talking on the phone to set this up, Alan, that I know nothing about this, and I've learned so much, and I'm really kind of glad that you guys are around. I feel safer knowing that we have the amateurs with feet on the ground and the technology to take care of us in emergency situations. So the field day is called again?
It's called the Amateur Radio Relay Field Day Contest.
There's a contest too.
Actually, it's a contest because there's no disasters. So to test improve your operating skills is there's 35,000 people across North America that will be participating in this event in different radio clubs, and you try and contact as many people as you can in a 24-hour period, keeping track of them. All on a computer. Back in the good old days before computers, they used to do it on paper, which was crazy. But trying to keep track of everybody, because you only talk to Tim Murphy working his radio station. I'm going to talk to you once. So if I talk to you again, it doesn't count as a point in the contest thing. Wow. So there's no big awards or prizes or anything like that other than bragging rights. But it's a fun thing to do.
Okay, so if they want more information, the website again is
aarclub.ca.
All right, guys, thanks for your time. Thanks for. Did you have anything else you wanted to get in there?
Yes. Okay. What I'd like to say is thanks, Tim. Also, it'll be open to the general public, so that if they want to come by and have a look at it, we're going to have what we call a GOTA station, which is Get on the Radio, and we'll have a station there where people will be able to come in and operate if they want. And if they also want to come in and learn a little bit in the main area, we'll have someone escort them in, and they can sit there and play with the radios, and maybe even get a chance to use it there as well.
Terrific.
Come next Saturday, we'll put you on the air.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks to the gentlemen from the Amateur Radio, Algoma Amateur Radio, and we'll be right back to wrap things up with Luann on Mornings with Luann and Tim. Stay with us.
And welcome back. So are you a hammer now?
I'm more of a ham than I ever was. Ham has been like a leitmotif for this entire morning.
It has, right?
On Mornings with
I think
Luann
we need some ham and eggs. Right? We must be hungry or something.
We must be.
So you learned tons.
I did. I didn't realize that these guys were so involved with our national security and and not just that, but also disaster relief. I mean, just being able to get the word out in these kinds of emergency situations, and also so much fun for them.
Yes.
To be reaching out to, I mean, they're talking to Japan.
All over the world.
All over the world.
Imagine?
Just like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, anybody could be listening.
Anybody could be listening, and they probably have been since World War I. Just saying. Be careful what you're doing.
So what are your plans for tonight, Lou? Anyway?
I'm not sure, really. I think I'm going to take it easy and do some dinner.
That's nice. What's dinner?
What are you doing?
Well, let's see. I am meeting with someone from Social Services Sault Ste. Marie, because next week I'm performing for their staff day.
Yes.
And then I'm also going to be meeting with Richard Kim. Oh, he's going to be on the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show tomorrow morning.
I have never met him. He's been back home like 15 years, you were saying the other day.
Such a nice guy.
Is he?
Oh, he's funny and sweet, and he's really so talented. And I'm going to be emceeing their year-end recital, and it's the 15th anniversary. So I'll be meeting him to talk about that this evening. And then I got to go back to writing the end of my script for the Fringe Festival.
And then you're going to sleep, maybe.
And then I'll sleep, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with you.
Yeah. Awesome. And you'll be happy.
Right? Oh, I'm always, whenever I'm not happy, I see you in the morning, and I'm happy all over again. So we'll be back tomorrow with Happy Tim and Happy Luann. Mornings with Luann and Tim. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today. Bye for now.